If you're considering moving to the Woodlands and you want mature trees, established neighborhoods, convenient access to Interstate 45, and homes with more individual character, Grogan's Mill should be on your list. This was the very first village developed in the Woodlands, and it feels noticeably different from many of the community's newer areas. Here you'll find homes dating back to the 1970s. Quiet streets beneath a canopy of trees, golf course properties, townhomes, patio homes, and even multi-million-dollar estates. But buying in an older neighborhood also comes with some important considerations. You need to understand home maintenance and renovations and drainage and insurance and the difference between the individual neighborhoods. In this video, I'm going to give you an honest buyer's guide to Grogan's Mill and its location, its lifestyle, the home prices, the types of homes, and the schools, amenities, and the questions you should ask before purchasing here. And stay with me until the end because I'll explain who I think will love Grogan's Mill and who may be happier in a newer village. Today, we're visiting the village of Grogan's Mill, the place where the story of the Woodlands began. Grogan's Mill is the original village of the Woodlands. Development began in the early 1970s, and the official grand opening of the Woodlands took place here in 1974. At that time, the Woodlands was much smaller than the community we know today. There were just a few families, 19 model homes, approximately 50 apartments, 3 office buildings, a conference center, and several recreational amenities. Grogan's Mill was named for the Grogan Cochrane Lumber Company, which operated in the area before George Mitchell began assembling the land that would eventually become the Woodlands. That history is still reflected in the names such as Sawmill Road, Millbend Drive, and Grogan's Mill Road. Now today, Grogan's Mill includes roughly 5,100 homes distributed among more than 20 smaller neighborhoods. That's important for buyers to understand because Grogan's Mill isn't one uniform subdivision. The experience can change considerably from one section of one street to another. You'll find relatively modest homes, traditional suburban properties, condominiums, townhomes, and golf course homes, and then large estates. You may see a 1970s contemporary home on one street and a substantially newer luxury home only a few minutes away. That variety is one of the village's greatest strengths. Now, Grogan's Mill doesn't have the consistently newer appearance that you might see in Creekside Park or some parts of Sterling Ridge. Instead, it offers history, architectural variety, mature landscaping, and homes that don't necessarily look like their neighbors. Location is one of the strongest reasons buyers choose Grogan's Mill. It sits near the front of the Woodlands, close to Interstate 45, and immediately south of town center. The Grogan's Mill Village Center is approximately 2 miles from I-45. Now that can be a major advantage if you commute southward towards Spring, George Bush Intercontinental Airport, or Houston. It doesn't mean you'll avoid Houston traffic, but it significantly reduces the amount of time you spend traveling through the Woodlands before reaching the freeway. Now your exact commute will depend on the neighborhood and the time of day. So I always tell people I recommend testing the drive during normal commuting hours before making an offer on a home. Grogan's Mill is also convenient to many of the Woodlands' major destinations, including places like the Woodlands Waterway, Market Street, Hughes Landing, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, the Woodlands Mall, Town Green Park, oh, the list goes on, restaurants and employers throughout Town Center, and the Woodlands Resort and the Woodlands Country Club. Now, depending on where you live in the village, some destinations may be accessible by bicycle through the Woodlands Pathway system. You're also generally just a short drive from shopping and entertaining found in town center. Now, this location works especially well for buyers who want the Woodlands lifestyle but don't want to live 15 or 20 minutes west of Interstate 45. The lifestyle in Grogan's Mill is established, wooded, and generally relaxed. The mature tree canopy is one of the first things you'll notice. In some neighborhoods, the homes almost disappear into the trees. This was part of George Mitchell's original vision, building a community around the natural environment instead of simply clearing the land and starting over. You'll find curving streets, cul-de-sacs, small lakes and ponds, neighborhood parks, and access to the Woodlands pathway system. The township maintains more than 200 miles of pathways across the Woodlands, and Grogan's Mill connects into that larger network. Now, for many residents, the pathways are a part of everyday life. People use them for walking, jogging, biking, exercising the dog, or traveling to a nearby park. Grogan's Mill has approximately a dozen parks, although the amenities vary from park to park. Now, one of the best known is Sawmill Park. It includes a neighborhood pool and a spray ground. It has lap lanes, a water slide, a diving area, play spaces, and other recreational features. Tamarack Park, Sunset Springs Park, and several similar neighborhood parks give residents additional choices without always needing to drive across the Woodlands. Now, Grogan's Point Park is another larger park covering nearly 7 acres. It offers playgrounds, a pavilion, a picnic area, tennis courts, basketball, volleyball, and a soccer field. If golf is important to you, Grogan's Mill is also home to 3 of the Woodlands Country Club's courses. Club membership is separate though, but some homes offer views of the golf course, and the presence of golf adds to the character of several neighborhoods. Now, buyers should remember that living on or near a golf course creates its own considerations. You'll want to evaluate if that lifestyle is right for you. You might want to check out our video on golf in the Woodlands here on our YouTube channel. The Grogan's Mill Village Center has long served as a gathering place for the community. Like many older shopping centers, it has gone through periods of transition. More recently, the center has received redevelopment and revitalization. In the summer of 2024, construction began to redevelop the Grogan's Mill Shopping Center with the goal of establishing a new library as a community anchor. In August 2025, the South Regional Library was moved to its new location. And on March 25, 2025, the Montgomery County Commissioners Court voted to rename the library after Kevin Brady, a public servant who served in U.S. Congress for 26 years and who was a leader in the Woodlands community. On September 2, 2025, the Montgomery County Memorial Library System opened the doors of the new Kevin Brady Library in the revitalized Grogan's Mill Village Center, including new dining, fitness, and service-oriented businesses. One of its most popular attractions is the Woodlands Farmers Market at Grogan's Mill. Now, the market began in 2008 and is held on Saturdays through most of the year. It regularly includes locally produced foods, agricultural products, prepared foods, and artisan vendors. The market reports that it hosts more than 70 vendors during a typical week. It's a fantastic place to visit on the weekend. This isn't simply a place to buy vegetables. It has become a weekly community tradition where people meet neighbors, bring their dogs, and support local business. Now, as of 2026, the regular hours for the farmers market are 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and it's held from October through May, with shorter summer hours from 9 a.m. to noon. Now, buyers should check the current schedule before visiting. The Village Association is also very active. Residents can attend monthly meetings, participate in community decisions, and become involved in local programs and events. If having a sense of community history and local involvement matters to you, that might be another point in Grogan's Mill favor. Now, let's talk about the homes. Because Grogan's Mill was developed first, many of the homes were built during the 1970s and 1980s. According to HAR's 2025 property data, the median year built for single-family homes in the village was 1981. But that median doesn't tell the entire story. Some properties date to the earliest years of the Woodlands, while certain estate homes and redevelopment properties are considerably newer. The most common homes are traditional 1- and 2-story detached houses. You'll also find contemporary and mid-century influenced designs. You'll find ranch-style homes, and then there are townhomes and condominiums, and patio and low-maintenance properties. But there are also large estate homes, especially in Grogan's Point, extensively renovated older homes, and occasionally newer construction or replacement homes. Many of the older homes have features buyers are actively seeking today: larger lots, established trees, interesting architecture, and neighborhoods that don't feel cookie cutter. However, the floor plans may reflect the era in which they were built. You may encounter formal living and dining rooms, smaller kitchens, lower ceilings, fewer bathrooms, limited closet space, and more divided living areas. Now, some homeowners have opened the floor plans up and completed major renovations on those homes. Some of them are just beautiful. Others have preserved the original layout, and still others may need substantial updating. So this creates a wide range of conditions and a wide range of prices. Two homes with similar square footage on the same street may have very different values if one has a new roof, updated plumbing, and renovated bathrooms with energy efficient windows and a remodeled kitchen, while the other retains many of its original systems. So Grogan's Mill offers just a broad range of home sizes. HAR's 2025 data reports a median single-family home size of approximately 2,122 square feet and a median lot size of about 9,300 square feet. But I really don't think these are helpful reference points. But you'll find properties both considerably smaller and considerably larger. You'll find starter homes of 1,300 square feet off of Many Pines in the very front of Grogan's Mill, and then a few blocks over, a 9,000 square foot estate home in Grogan's Point. Entry-level options may include condominiums, townhomes, or smaller detached homes. The middle of the market consists largely of established single-family homes, while the upper end includes renovated golf course homes, custom properties, and estates. The luxury segment is most visible in areas such as Grogan's Point, where the homes may sit on exceptionally large lots and can reach well into the millions of dollars. As of mid-2026, different housing platforms place the typical Grogan's Mill home value of a median price in approximately the mid-400s. Although the numbers may vary depending on whether a source is measuring estimated value, active listings, or closed sales, home prices range between $250,000 to $3 million, and occasionally much more. Because this village contains so many different property types, a single median price can be very misleading in this area. A better question is, what does a home with the size, condition, lot, and location that you want cost right now? A renovated 4-bedroom home near the golf course shouldn't be compared directly with an original condition 2-bedroom townhome. Even within detached homes, upgrades and micro-location can create a large price difference. If you contact me, I can prepare a current search based on your budget instead of relying on a broad neighborhood average that may not describe the home you actually want. So, What buyers should inspect carefully? An older home isn't automatically a problem. In fact, a well-maintained older home may be an excellent purchase. The key is understanding what has been updated and what hasn't. For a Grogan's Mill property, I recommend doing some investigating. The roof's age and condition, as well as all other major systems in the house. I would also look for old galvanized piping and if the windows are original or replacement. Check for termites. I mean, after all, we live in a forest. That doesn't mean every older home has a problem, but these are items a buyer should investigate with qualified inspectors and, when necessary, licensed specialists. Large mature trees are beautiful, but they also require care. I mean, there's roots and falling limbs and roof debris, and tree removal can become part of the cost of ownership. You should also evaluate energy efficiency. An older home with original windows is limited insulation and aging mechanical equipment may cost more for heat and cool than a properly updated property. Now, before buying, obtain an insurance quote for the specific address. Don't assume that two homes in that same village will have the same premium. Now let's talk about drainage and flooding. Drainage deserves special attention here. Anywhere in the Houston area, really. Flood risk may vary from one property to another, even within the same neighborhood. Buyers should review current FEMA flood maps, sellers' disclosures, prior insurance claims whenever they're available, and elevation information and the property's physical drainage. During Hurricane Harvey, a few neighborhoods on the fringes of Grogan's Mill flooded, as well as some parts of Grogan's Point. Since then, local authorities have prioritized targeted storm sewer and street drainage enhancements directly within the Grogan's Point enclave to help the neighborhood drain into adjacent waterways more effectively during torrential rains, and conducted more extensive watershed projects to mitigate risk. Now, a property located outside a mapped special flood hazard area can still experience drainage problems, so the flood map shouldn't be your only source of information. Be sure to ask about prior flooding before buying. Flood insurance may also be worth considering even when a lender doesn't require it. Discuss the property with an insurance professional who can evaluate the actual address and available coverage. Grogan's Mill is served by Conroe Independent School District, but school assignments depend on the property address. Elementary zoning may include Lamar Elementary or Haley Elementary. Many students continue through Wilkerson Intermediate, Knox Junior High, and the Woodlands College Park High School. But buyers should never rely on a real estate listing or neighborhood description. Attendance boundaries can change. So always verify the exact address directly with Conroe ISD before purchasing if a particular school assignment is important to you. School ratings also don't tell the complete story. I encourage buyers to review district information, academic programs, transportation, extracurricular activity, and any service that matters to their household. So here are some major advantages I see for buyers. First is location. You're close to I-45 and town center and major employers and shopping and dining and entertainment and medical services. You're close to the action and all of the fun and entertainment. Second is the mature landscape. If you want tall trees in an established setting, Grogan's Mill delivers that from the day you move in. Third is housing variety. You're not limited to one age, style, price, or property type. And the fourth is character. Buyers who don't want a neighborhood where every home looks similar are often attracted to this village. And fifth is recreation. There's everything you'd want. There's parks, pools, pathways, golf, and community activities that's all integrated into the area. And finally, some parts of Grogan's Mill can provide a more attainable entry point into the Woodlands than some of the newer and more expensive villages, depending, of course, on the home and the neighborhood you choose. But there are some potential drawbacks to living there. So before I talk about that, I want to take a moment to introduce myself. I'm Cheryl Vecchio with the Vecchio Group at eXp Realty. I and my husband Frank are local realtors here in the Woodlands, North Harris County and South Montgomery County. If you have questions about buying or selling real estate in the area, we would love to help you. Also, if you are moving to or from another city or state, we run an expert vetted agent referral program. These are killer real estate agents we would send our own family to, and in fact we have. We work on a referral, not pressure basis, and we're here to help you. Now, back to what could be considered a drawback, because no neighborhood is right for everyone. So here are some possible trade-offs. The first is home age. Even an attractively priced property may need major mechanical, structural, or cosmetic improvements. Second, appearance and condition can vary from street to street than in a newly built subdivision. And third, some floor plans may feel dated unless they've been remodeled. Now, fourth, proximity to I-45 is convenient, but certain locations may experience more road noise than homes farther inside the Woodlands. Visit the property at different times of the day and stand in the backyard before you decide on a home. Now, fifth, mature trees require ongoing maintenance. And sixth, the very broad price range means buyers need careful comparable sales analysis. A generalized online estimate may not account for renovations, quality, golf course placement, lot size, or the difference among individual neighborhoods. And finally, if your priority is a nearly new home with current construction standards, large closets, high ceilings, and a modern open floor plan, you may have more choices in a newer village. Now, who is Grogan's Mill best for? I think Grogan's Mill could be an excellent fit if you want convenient access to I-45, if you work in town center or commute toward Houston, or maybe you prefer the mature trees and established landscape. Or maybe you appreciate older homes with a lot of character. Maybe you want access to parks and pathways, are open to renovating or maintaining an older property. Or you want choices ranging from townhomes to luxury estates. And you prefer being close to shopping, dining, entertainment, and medical facilities. It may be less suitable if you want only newer construction, very uniform neighborhood architecture, or a home requiring minimal near-term maintenance. For downsizers, there may be a townhome, patio home, property, or smaller single-family home worth considering. However, buyers should look closely at stairs, accessibility, exterior maintenance responsibilities, and any association fees. For relocation buyers, the location makes it easier to experience both the Woodlands and the broader Houston area without living deep inside the community. And for buyers who enjoy renovation, Grogan's Mill can be the opportunity to combine an established lot and location with a more modern interior. Now, Grogan's Mill represents the beginning of the Woodlands, but it isn't frozen in the past. It combines mature neighborhoods, community history, parks, pathways, golf, convenient access to town center, and one of the widest range of housing options in the Woodlands. Its greatest strength, older homes, mature trees, and architectural variety. Also, reasons buyers need to complete careful due diligence. The right home can give you something that's difficult to reproduce in a new development, decades-old trees and an established setting, an individual sense of character, and a location close to nearly everything. If you're considering Grogan's Mill, I can help you compare its different neighborhoods, evaluate current pricing, and identify the homes that fits within your lifestyle and budget. Contact information is in the description below. Now, tell me in the comments, would you choose a beautifully renovated older home with mature trees, or would you rather purchase a newer home with fewer immediate maintenance concerns? And be sure to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cheryl Vecchio with the Vecchio Group at eXp Realty, and we're showing you the way home.